The first step to load a caulking gun is to use a sharp knife to cut the tapered spout. This spout has 45-degree angle lines and bead sizes marked on it. If you don't care about getting a clean cut or accurate size hole, you can use the spout cutter found on some guns. I keep an old coat hanger to pierce the foil that's found on the inside of some tubes. Some guns have a piercing tool. Hold the rear part of the handle, push the thumb release, and pull the rod back to the fully open position. If the gun doesn't have a thumb release, then just pull the rod back. Don't hold the gun like this and squeeze the trigger, because squeezing the trigger locks the rod. If it's a ratchet rod gun, there will be ridges on the rod. Spin the rod so that the smooth part of the rod faces the trigger and the ridges face 180 degrees from the trigger. Then pull the rod back. Inspect the plunger and the rear of the gun to make sure there's not a buildup of old material. Remove any old material that might interfere with the operation of the gun. The gun's plunger fits into the cup on the bottom of the tube. When the trigger is squeezed, it pushes the plunger forward and the material through the spout of the gun. Place the bottom of the tube into the back of the gun and drop the tube into the cradle. Squeeze the trigger until you feel resistance, and the tube is pushed against the end of the cradle. When the trigger is squeezed on this dripless gun, the rod backs off slightly and releases pressure from the tube. When the trigger is released on a dripless gun, the material will stop coming out of the end of the spout. This is not a dripless gun, and after you squeeze the trigger, the rod does not push back and release pressure off of the back of the tube. When the trigger is squeezed and then released, material continues to flow out from the end of the spout until you run out of pressure, or until the thumb release button is pressed. This gun has a 10-to-1 thrust ratio, and what that means is when the trigger is squeezed, it's how far the rod moves forward and how much pressure is applied to the tube. It works well with thinner materials like latex, acrylic, and silicone. This gun has a higher thrust ratio and more force. It's better suited for a thicker material like adhesives. To remove the tube from the gun, pull the rod back to the fully open position, then push the tube back towards the rear of the gun and lift it out. I hope you found this video helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, to find other videos, and thanks for watching.